This is so nice. So starting out as a centre manager and rising to the top, what made you interested in property to begin with?
It's quite an interesting story. I was working, and my family had a little supermarket in Yeovil, which I hated. And when that business was sold, I was looking for a job where I wouldn't have to report to somebody on an hourly basis. I wanted a bit of autonomy, and I saw an advert for a job. I got the job, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Fantastic. So, I mean, life growing up here in Joburg, a pretty normal life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty middle class, Sydenham kind of thing. Working parents, running around on my bicycle and fighting with my brother.
The normal life.
Normal life.
Did you always have a business sense about you?
I'm told so. I think I tell the story in the book. When I was probably 8 or 9, we went to work in the shop on Saturday mornings. My brother got 50 cents, I got 25, because he was old and he could work in the shop. I was put in the back, sorting the cold drink bottles. So in order to equalize, what I did was I used to take 4 or 5 cold drink bottles, give it to a passerby, say, go and cash it in and I'll give you something.
Yeah.
And so maybe that was the start of my business career or my criminal career.
Well, one of the two, but it perhaps was the business career. But I mean, property, in days gone by, and people always say, you want to make money, get into property. Is that sentiment still right?
I think so. I think that if you have a long-term view, property is not instant wealth. So today, young people, very hard to get young people into the property business because they all want to be a Google or a Instagram or one of those. So you want to become a billionaire in a year or two. So property is a slow, steady accumulation of wealth over a period of time.
Yeah, but it's also finding the right area. It's finding the right property. But it's almost like you wish you had a crystal ball. How do you have a crystal ball in the property world?
You don't. Things change. So you just have to be aware of trends. And if you see things are changing in an area, so for example in Redefine, we were quite heavily invested in the Eastern Cape at a point in time. And when we saw that the infrastructure and everything wasn't being attended to by the local authority, we slowly sold out of those areas, and we now only have one property left.
It's sad. I mean, we spoke about this honeydew story, and I mean, people own properties, they live there, their lives are there.
Absolutely.
And you've got stories. I mean, what does that do? I mean, for instance, you speak about the Eastern Cape, but talk about that now.
Yeah, well, so honeydew, look, that's obviously I'm not in the residential market, but honeydew has been a target for criminal attacks now for a number of years. A lot of squatter camps and things around there that make it dangerous. So if somebody came to us and said, build a shopping centre or an office block in honeydew, we wouldn't do it. Yeah. So that's just going to take the focus off. And of course, those people who want to move out, they're more sellers than buyers. So obviously that depresses the price.
So in this book now that you've got, it's out, do you give people lessons on what to look for and talk about your life lessons?
What we do, we talk a little bit about myself and my background. And then we talk about various deals that I've done and the lessons I learned. And although they are property sort of lessons, I think there's a lot of life lessons in there. So it doesn't matter whether you're looking for a career in property or something else. And in fact, there's a message right at the end to my grandchildren. My wife and I, between us, have 10 grandchildren. So it's really about how you go about life, what you need to do, and it comes down to believing in yourself, having passion, perseverance, and you'll succeed.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. All right, so here is the book. Go and get it. I think it would be a fantastic Christmas present. I do. But if you think that's good, you know, behind every successful man, there's a wife pushing him. And I have to do this. There's no way. There's your wife's book.
I'm so proud of my wife.
Isn't that lovely?
Obviously, you know, she's had this in her head for a while because she has a granddaughter and these are true stories. There's 3 stories in there. So she wanted to write the book. I encouraged her. The book came out yesterday, as it happens. It's beautifully illustrated and wonderfully written, and I'm sure it's going to be very successful.
Awesome.
Ages 2 to 6, it's a great book.
That's stunning. All right, there you go. Bubba Bear by Leslie Wainer and Marc Wainer having his book. So there you go, the his and hers version of life. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And it was really such an honor to meet you and have you in studio. Enjoy. All right, let's go to Valen quickly. Let's get you some sports news now.
And roll